Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we plunge into sources to pull out the most important bits of knowledge, those surprising facts you need to know. Today, we're taking a really fascinating dive into consumer electronics, specifically the global TV display panel market. Our mission here is to unpack the key insights, the dynamics from this market outlook report by Cognitive Market Research. We want to help you understand not just the numbers, but, well, what they really mean for global trends.
Absolutely. And when we talk about this market, it's important to grasp the scale. You're looking at a sector valued at, over $53 billion just a few years back in 2021.
Right.
And the projections for the next decade, they point towards nearly $93 billion.
Wow.
What really stands out, I think, is just the sheer size of that growth and how consistent it looks. It really makes you think about the forces driving such a robust expansion.
Okay, let's definitely unpack this, starting with the big picture.
Yeah.
According to the report, the global TV display panel market was already at a substantial $53 billion in 2021. But like you said, that's just the beginning. The projections are pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Expected to climb to nearly $64 billion by 2025.
Okay.
And then surge even further, hitting almost $93 billion by 2033.
And what's intriguing there, as you mentioned, is how steady that growth path looks. We're talking over more than a decade.
Yeah.
The report points to a consistent compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of nearly 4.8%.
Okay, 4.8%.
Right. So to put that simply, this isn't some, fleeting boom. It means basically the market's expected to grow by roughly that percentage every single year.
Right.
It signifies a very steady, predictable expansion, suggests, deeply entrenched and growing demand for these panels worldwide.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting. Asia Pacific. It's got this commanding lead.
Mm-hmm.
This region isn't just leading, it's projected for, explosive growth, expanding from around $22.5 billion in 2021 to nearly $42 billion by 2033.
That's huge.
It is. So what are the main things driving this region to such a dominant spot?
Yeah, that's a great point. If we sort of connect this to the bigger picture, APAC's growth, just the scale of it, it really highlights a major shift, I think, in global consumption patterns.
Well,
it's not simply about population growth, though that's part of it. It's critically about, increasing affluence, better access to consumer electronics across these regions.
right, the rising middle class.
Exactly. Think about the rising middle classes, improved infrastructure. For manufacturers, this just means a massive, evolving consumer base ready to buy.
And if we drill down inside APAC, China is really leading the charge, projected to jump from about $6.6 billion to a massive $12.6 billion by 2033.
A huge jump.
Then you've got India, identified as a really fast-growing market, projected to more than double, actually, from $2.8 billion in 2021 to almost $5.9 billion by 2033.
Wow. Doubling.
And Japan, too, another big contributor, growing to nearly $5.9 billion by 2033.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond these sort of powerhouses, you have other key APAC markets. South Korea, Australia, Singapore, they're all projected to hit well over $2 billion each. It just reinforces the region's dominance.
It really paints a picture of robust, widespread growth across that entire region.
Okay, let's move across the globe now to North America. It also shows, solid, consistent contributions here.
Right.
Its market value was around $12.6 billion back in 2021 and projected to increase to over $20.4 billion by 2033.
Still significant growth.
Definitely. And breaking that down, the United States is still the largest contributor, growing from $10.4 billion in 2021 to about $16.5 billion by 2033.
Yeah, North America clearly continues to play a really substantial role in the global market.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not growing at quite the explosive rate you see in some Asian markets, but its continued demand really underlines the enduring place of TV displays in established economies.
Sure.
It's kind of testament to the fact that even in mature markets, the upgrade cycle, the demand for bigger, better screens keeps things robust.
Good point. Okay, then we have Europe. This presents a more diverse landscape, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Its overall market was valued around $10.6 billion in 2021 and climbing to over $17.5 billion by 2033.
Okay.
Drilling down a bit, Germany's expanding from $2.1 billion to over $3.8 billion by 2033.
Yeah.
The UK also showing strong growth, moving from $1.6 billion up to nearly $2.9 billion.
Right.
France projected to grow from $1.3 billion to over $2 billion. Italy from about $1.1 billion to $1.7 billion.
Right.
So you see varied contributions across the continent, Spain and Sweden also adding over $1 billion each by then.
Yeah, the European market, while substantial, really does highlight how different national economies, different consumer preferences within Europe kind of add up to the overall picture. It reflects, diverse stages of market maturity and maybe different speeds in adopting the very latest display tech.
Right. Now, let's talk about the emerging markets,
Mm,
because they are definitely on the rise. We're sort of grouping South America, the Middle East, and Africa here.
okay.
And their growth figures are pretty compelling. South America, for instance, projected to rise from just over $3.1 billion in 2021 to nearly $5.7 billion by 2033.
Quite a jump proportionally.
It is. And Brazil's a big leader there, expected to hit over $2.2 billion.
Mm,
Then the Middle East. The market there is expected to increase from around $2.3 billion in 2021 to nearly $4.3 billion by 2033. Key players there include Saudi Arabia, projected over $1.2 billion, and Turkey at nearly $850 million.
right.
And finally, Africa, anticipated to grow significantly from $1.6 billion in 2021 to nearly $3 billion by 2033. South Africa is projected to reach over $1.1 billion of that.
Interesting.
So this significant proportional growth in these emerging regions is really telling, isn't it? What does this suggest about, the global expansion of demand for displays?
Well, it strongly suggests that as these economies develop, the access to and also the desire for modern home entertainment systems is just rapidly increasing. It's creating new, dynamic consumer bases. These are the areas that will likely drive future market shifts. It's actually fascinating when you consider how foundational display technology has become, to modern life, even in regions where maybe it was less common just a decade ago.
True.
It's a clear indicator, I think, of global aspirations for digital connectivity for entertainment.
That's a really powerful point. It's not just population, it's that desire for what we now see as, well, essential tech.
Exactly.
So beyond these raw regional numbers, what other things are driving this growth? Like specific tech advancements or consumer preferences? Is it the push for bigger screens, higher resolutions like 4K, 8K, or maybe smart features?
Oh, absolutely. It's really a combination of all those factors you just mentioned.
Yeah.
We are definitely seeing a strong global trend towards larger screen sizes. Consumers want that more immersive viewing experience, right? Whether it's for movies, gaming, even things like virtual travel now.
Yeah.
And hand in hand with that is just the relentless pursuit of higher resolution, better picture quality.
Yeah.
Think about the vividness of OLED, the brightness of QLE time.
Like those constant upgrades.
Exactly. These innovations continuously entice consumers like you to upgrade. And of course, the integration of smart TV platforms has been huge. It's transformed the TV from just a display
Into a hub.
into a connected entertainment portal, exactly. Capable of streaming, browsing, interacting with other smart home devices. All that added functionality just makes the upgrade cycle even more compelling for people.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, our listener?
Well, our deep dive into the global TV display panel market, it paints a really clear picture, doesn't it?
It does.
Consistent, robust growth pretty much across the board. You've got Asia-Pacific's massive dominance driven by, increasing wealth and access. Then the steady contributions from North America and Europe. And this really exciting rise of emerging markets, South America, Middle East, Africa. The demand for TV displays is clearly just going one way. Yeah, and I think a key takeaway from digging into these figures is how these seemingly dry market statistics, they actually paint a really vivid picture. A picture of global consumer trends, technological adoption, even our entertainment habits right there in our homes.
That's a great way to put it.
It makes you consider, the constant evolution of what we think of as essential in our living spaces and how display technology continues to be right at the heart of that, just evolving rapidly to meet these new demands for visual experiences.
Exactly. So maybe the next time you sit down to watch your favorite show or movie, just take a moment. Consider the sheer scale, the dynamic forces of the global industry behind that glowing screen. It really is a global phenomenon, continuously expanding, continuously evolving, and really shaping how we all connect with information and entertainment every single day.
Okay, let's unpack this. Every time you switch on your TV, You're plugging into this silent revolution. It's quite something.
It really is. Well, a high-stakes battle happening behind the scenes
Yeah.
in labs and factories.
Exactly. And today, we're pulling back that curtain. We're doing a deep dive into the really exciting stuff, the innovations and shifts in the TV display panel market.
Yeah, this is more than just about getting a bigger screen.
Oh, definitely. It's an industry that's, fundamentally reshaping how we all experience content, movies, sports, everything. And just so everyone knows, our insights today, they're coming straight from official data from Cognitive Market Research.
It's a good, solid source.
Right. So our mission for you listening is to get a real handle on the key drivers pushing this market, the things holding it back, the restraints, and maybe most interesting, the emerging trends shaping what's next.
And what's really key here, I think, is understanding how all these background dynamics, they directly connect to the quality, the price, and, the cool new features on the TVs you actually think about buying.
That's the core of it. It's not just abstract tech talk.
No, not at all. It's about your viewing experience, how it's changing right now.
Absolutely. So let's kick off with the drivers. What's really pushing this market forward right now? What's the main engine here?
Well, the biggest force, undeniably, is just this huge skyrocketing demand for high resolution and, frankly, large screen TVs.
Oh, okay. So 4K, 8K,
That's
that
right.
kind of thing.
Exactly. We're talking Ultra HD, 4K, 8K. That's, 4 times, even 16 times the pixels of standard HD. And the key thing, they're getting way more affordable.
Ah, right. Press point matters.
Hugely. And content creators, they're scrambling to provide stuff to watch in that quality. So consumers, they don't just want bigger, they want a really immersive picture.
Makes sense. You see spikes in demand sometimes.
Oh, definitely. Big global sports events are huge drivers. And it's really strong in places like North America and the Asia Pacific, where entertainment's a big focus.
Okay, so resolution and size are key. What about the actual tech inside the panel? Is that evolving just as fast? Are we talking small tweaks or like fundamental changes?
Oh, it's definitely fundamental changes. That's the second major driver, the constant, almost dizzying advancement in the display tech itself.
Such as?
Well, you've got OLED organic light emitting diodes. Each pixel makes its own light. That means, perfect black levels, amazing contrast.
Right, I've seen those. The difference is pretty stark.
It is.
Okay.
Then you have QLED using quantum dots for brighter colors, better vibrancy. Mini LED is another big one. It's like a much smarter version of the old backlights using thousands of tiny LEDs. Better control.
Okay.
And then the sort of bleeding edge is micro LED. Think millions of microscopic individual LEDs. Potentially the best of all worlds, brightness, lifespan, maybe even transparency down the line.
Wow. So what makes these so attractive, beyond just looking good?
Well, it's that superior contrast, the deep blacks we mentioned, vivid colors. Yeah, but also energy efficiency is getting better. That makes them really appealing, especially if you're looking at a more premium TV.
Got it. And there's a third driver you mentioned linking to a more global picture, smart TVs in emerging markets.
Yes, exactly. This is really interesting. The huge uptake of smart TVs in emerging economies. Think India, Brazil, Indonesia.
And what does that mean for the panel market overall?
Well, it's not just selling more units. It's potentially leapfrogging how people consume media in those places. These smart TVs are getting cheaper. Internet access is growing fast.
So it drives volume.
Yeah, it massively contributes to panel demand, especially for those mid-range and entry-level TVs. But more than that, these TVs become the main hub for digital content, for services. It's building whole new digital ecosystems.
Fascinating. Okay, those are some powerful forces moving things forward. But, well, every market has its challenges, doesn't it? If we sort of connect this to the bigger picture, what are the main roadblocks or headwinds these companies face?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's momentum, but definitely some significant hurdles. Honestly, the biggest one is probably the sheer cost. Manufacturing and R&D for these advanced panels.
Like OLED and micro LED.
Exactly those. They're complex. The materials cost a lot. It creates, pretty high barriers to entry. It's tough for smaller players to jump into that premium space.
Right. And beyond just the cost of making the things, there's that whole global supply chain issue too, isn't there? That seems like a constant worry.
Precisely. The industry is incredibly sensitive to disruptions. Component shortages are a big deal.
Like chips, semiconductors.
Semiconductors are critical, yeah. And things like rare earth materials, essential for the colors and brightness. We've seen it happen, right?
Yeah.
Geopolitical tensions, like, say, trade issues between the U.S. and China, that can lead straight to major shipment delays. And, of course, price swings. price volatility. It happens because so much critical manufacturing is concentrated in just a few spots globally. Makes the whole chain vulnerable.
Okay, that makes sense. And then there's this other factor, which seems almost counterintuitive with all the new tech coming out. People are apparently keeping their TVs longer.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, isn't it? The TV replacement cycle is lengthening.
Why is that?
Well, simply put, TVs are just better made now,
Well-
more durable. And they come packed with features, smart capabilities.
Yeah.
Your 5, maybe even 10-year-old TV. It might still be perfectly fine for most people.
So fewer upgrades, less demand for new panels.
Especially in mature markets, yeah. Think Japan, Western Europe. Most households there already have a decent flat-screen TV. So that slower replacement rate definitely impacts the sheer volume of panel shipments.
Okay, so we've got these strong drivers, but also some real significant challenges. What's fascinating now is sort of how the market is reacting. What are the emerging trends you're seeing? Where's this heading?
Well, one really striking thing is sustainability. It's really moving center stage.
How so? Greener TVs.
Yeah, basically. There's a real push towards eco-friendly, energy-efficient panels. Manufacturers are focusing on things like lower power OLEDs, using materials that can be recycled.
Is that regulation or consumer demand?
It's both, really. Stricter regulations globally, absolutely. But also, consumers increasingly expect greener products. It's actually becoming a competitive edge now.
Interesting. And aesthetically, it feels like TVs are almost disappearing into the background sometimes.
Exactly. That's another big trend, the move towards bezel-less, ultra-thin designs.
Yeah.
People want sleek products that, enhance their living room, not dominate it.
Like pictures on the wall?
Pretty much. It drives demand for those edge-to-edge panels. Great for wall mounting, they just blend in. More like art, less like an appliance.
Okay. And one last trend, which seems to directly address those supply chain risks we talked about, localizing production.
Yes, that's a big one. Partly driven by all the geopolitical uncertainty, we're seeing manufacturers strategically moving production closer to their customers.
Where are they moving to?
We're seeing moves into places like India, Vietnam, Mexico, closer to big consumer markets.
And the benefit is?
Well, a couple things. It reduces political risk, for one, but maybe more practically, it just improves logistics, makes the supply chain more responsive, get panels to market faster, more reliably.
Right. So putting it all together then, this deep dive shows, well, a market that's evolving incredibly fast. A real mix of innovation, cost hurdles, and shifting consumer habits.
It really is moving quickly. And the so what, for you, the listener, is that all this stuff from amazing new tech giving you stunning pictures to new factories popping up in different countries, even the push for greener TVs, it's all shaping what your next TV might look like.
And what it costs, how long it lasts.
Exactly. It's all interconnected. And remember, these insights are coming straight from that cognitive market research data.
Definitely. So before we wrap up, here's maybe a final thought for you to chew on. With these trends converging ultra-thin designs, sustainable materials, production moving closer to home, how might that change how you interact with screens? Beyond just watching stuff, I mean.
Yeah, could they blend even more seamlessly?
Maybe integrated right into furniture or architecture, or perhaps becoming almost invisible when you're not using them. You forget they're there until you need them. Something to think about.
Definitely food for thought.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.